Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Striv TV Game of the Week. We are in Osceola, where the Bulldogs are set to host the Warriors of Fullerton. It is Parents' Night going on down on the field right now, and it is always fun because we've got a good crew. We've got Connor and Kyle up here running a little Wirecast, running the camera. Gentlemen, thank you for that. Tony Chapman is also down there on the sideline currently. And Tony, we 2 years ago we came here and we saw Humphrey St. Francis, who was on their way to a state championship game appearance, I should say. Bulldogs are just 2-3 this year for Osceola, but a good nucleus and a good group of guys, it seems, to be playing. And if you're going to pick an upset special, might it be this one this week for the 5-0 Warriors?
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one, Eric. I think you kind of nailed it on the head in that Osceola is preseason number 5 or 6, I think, in the Omaha World Herald in Class D2. They've really played a loaded schedule. The one loss to Bruning Davenport Shickley, who we obviously know is very, very good. Nebraska Lutheran, who's in D1 and I think undefeated. And then a touchdown game to Giltner, who is 3-2, but one of the losses to Heartland, who's up in D1 and undefeated. So they've lost to 3 really good 8-man teams so far. And Fullerton maybe can say is a little bit of surprise. They only have 3 seniors. Coach Ryan Houghton does a great job. These are 2 teams who are going to want to kind of pound it right at each other. So really going to watch for the line play tonight. And when you look at the Fullerton side, you got Cole Prasowski, number 77. You can't miss him. He's been starting for 4 years, maybe one of the top linemen in 8-man football. And Brandon Rasmussen, a young sophomore quarterback. They can run and maybe pass a little bit. He's passed for about 400 yards in 5 games. Actually, in 4, really, they've got a forfeit on their record. And then kind of the 3-headed monster back there for Osceola. Caden Tice, the quarterback, Brennan Bryan, and up back, and Garrett Fisher listed as a tight end, but kind of that H-back kind of spot in that kind of modified single wing. For Coach TJ Nielsen. A little spinner back tonight for you, I think.
I love it. I love saying spinner back, and that's exactly what a guy like Caden Tice. Caden seems like, this is my 3rd year at Striv, and so Caden was a sophomore the first time that we came up here. And like every time I've done a game with Osceola in it, whether it's a football game or it's the CRC basketball tournament, it always seems like Caden Tice makes some play in some way during the game that makes you go, wow, that kid's really good. And it seems like he should be, 24 and out of college with a wife and a couple kids by now. But no, he's just a senior in high school.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's been a good athlete for a long time. As you said, started on that team we watched a couple of years ago. And then last year, I think we kind of forget how good this team was last year. They lost to BDS the first game of the year. They rattled off 8 in a row. They were the number 1 seed in the East bracket, a loaded East bracket. And they played a basically even game with Fall City Sacred Heart in the round of 16, which is too bad.
Right.
And Sacred Heart goes on to win the state championship. And that was a game that Osceola had the lead late. Fall City Sacred Heart scored, got a 2-point conversion late to win that one. And so this Osceola team was state championship good last year, really. And I'm excited to see this one. I think this one could be a pretty good football game all the way to the end.
Okay, so if kickoff is directly at 7 o'clock, Tony, I want the over-under on this game, final buzzer sounding at 8:40. Take the over-under on that.
I'll take the over 840. If you were going to bump that up to like 850 or 855, then you might have a good one there. But I think this is one that could get done by 9 o'clock. If I actually had that very conversation with Ryan Houghton before the game, I'm like, can you get me out of here? Can you get us out of here by 9 o'clock? He said, well, if there's not a lot of scoring, he goes, there's a good chance because we'll be running it at each other all night.
Should be a fun, kind of an old slobber knocker with and we know we get that kind of modified single wing from Osceola, but then it doesn't take long to look over at the warm-ups for Fullerton, and then you see 8-man football with 4 wide receivers.
Yeah,
what incarnation's going on here?
Yeah, they're gonna want to run it. They're gonna want to establish the run. Obviously, everybody remembers Garrett Sondra from a few years ago. He's now playing at Doane. His little brother Connor is a good athlete for them. Hunter Friend, who you won't see in the first half tonight due to discipline, is another good back for them. And then Brent Witovic is playing football this fall. So he is the 400, the 800, and the 1,600-meter champion at the state track meet last year. And they'll try to probably use him situationally, is my guess. When they're spreading the field, he'll probably be out there. And we'll kind of see what they do with this offense. They were, when they were really good a couple of years ago, they were really a power run team. They were a pistol or an eye or a split back kind of team. But it looks like they might spread it out just a little bit more this year. We'll see. In 4 games that they've actually played, 51 passing attempts for their quarterback, Brandon Rasmussen. Should be fun. Tony, we'll check in throughout the night. Thanks, man. All right. That's Tony Chapman down there on the sideline. We've got the national anthem coming up and the opening kick for our Striv TV Game of the Week. It is Fullerton at Osceola tonight.
It's thanks to you that we're where we are today. We're proud to watch these communities grow because they're our communities too. Our neighbors, our friends. It's where we live. These are all our hometowns. And no matter what, the people who will continue to serve your needs with the hometown support you know and trust are just down the street. Cornerstone Bank. Growing together.
Nova Fitness Equipment of Omaha has provided the very best weight room, track and field, and sports surfacing products for over 30 years in Nebraska. They provide Cybex, Matrix Fitness, Vertimax, Tough Stuff, Pro Elite, Stairmaster, York Barbell, Troy Barbell, and UCS track and performance products. From rubber flooring, strength equipment, cardio products, and sports performance accessories, Nova Fitness Equipment has what you need to make your athletic program successful. Contact Nova Fitness Equipment today at their home office in Omaha or online at novafitnessequipment.com.
Trucking industry gives you a lot of opportunity for careers because there's such a wide, vast list of possibilities and areas that you can go into. As technicians, these trucks are as advanced as cars are today, so we need technicians that can work on them and understand how to work the computer system and get them up and running so the customer can make money. These trucks are workhorses, but they're built for comfort and they're easy to drive. Freightliner builds these trucks for drivers' wants and customers' needs.
Participating in Nebraska high school activities has taught me about teamwork.
I've learned how to lead among my peers.
At my high school, I have set goals and I work hard to accomplish them.
I like to run on my cross country team. It makes me feel good about myself.
The Nebraska School Activities Association providing opportunities in 25 activities in our 303 high schools. NSAA activities, the other half of education.
Starting lineups being introduced here momentarily over the PA system, and we can give you those lineups here as well. Starting tonight, first for the Fullerton Warriors, 5-0 and ranked number 10 by the Omaha World Herald. Of note, though, number 2 in playoff points coming into tonight. They do have one of those 5 wins was a forfeit win. Winside could not muster enough players for the game, and so it was a 1-0 victory there for the Fullerton Warriors. But wins over Central Valley, Shelton, Wausau, and Scribner-Snyder, all with at least 50 points scored for the Warriors in those games. On the offensive side, Brady Houghton will be a starter at end, 150-pound senior. The quarterback is Brandon Rasmussen, 175-pound sophomore. The running back, TJ Dubas, 180-pound junior. We will see later on Hunter Friend, 175-pound senior. sitting out the first half due to some disciplinary issues. So Hunter, we will see later on in this game. The other end is Elijah Norman, 160-pound junior. The fullback John Witovic, 170-pound sophomore. The guard, one of the guards, is Levi Foland, a 205-pound junior. Cole Prasowski, a 285-pound senior, is at center. And the other guard is C.J. Pickerel, 205-pound sophomore. For the Osceola offense, it will be Carter Bodine on offense, 5'8", 146-pound sophomore. Caden Tice has that spinner back tonight, 6 foot, 190-pound senior. And Kobe Brulliette, there we go, got to say that one right. Kobe at tight end, a 5'9", 140-pound freshman. We'll also see Carson Watts on defense tonight, 5'9", 175-pound freshman. Brody Yen is a 5'10", 150-pound junior on the offensive side. Brendan Bryan, a 5'10", 200-pound senior. And then it gets big for those fellows up front, including Garrett Fisher, who will play a little bit in the backfield. 6 foot, 235 is Garrett. He's a senior this year. Tanner Kropatch is a 5'11", 190-pound sophomore. And Derek Voigt, 6 foot, 230. He's a senior. And Tristan Johnston, 6'4", 250. He is a senior as well. So there are some big fellas to run behind if you are a back for the Osceola Bulldogs. I don't know what you boys are feeding each other up here, but must be a lot of steak and potatoes because there's some big fellas the last couple years we've seen play for Coach T.J. Nielsen and the Bulldogs. 2-3 so far on their season. We've got the national anthem right now. We'll take a listen to that, the Osceola Marching Band.
We would ask that everybody please rise with the gentlemen removing their hats as we pay tribute to our nation's flag. The colors tonight are presented by the Osceola Legion, American Legion, William Wolfpost, number 91, and the Sons of the Legion, David Yen, Dan Yen, Matt Gustafson, and Doug Jones are members tonight. We ask that everyone remain standing as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem. Tonight's anthem will be sung by Miss Sarah Evans.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red flare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, we are ready to go for tonight's Striv TV Game of the Week. The hometown Osceola Bulldogs and the visitors from Fullerton, the Warriors. It should be fun tonight, 12 minutes on our game clock. My name is Eric Allgood. For the third time today, I get to say my name is Eric Allgood. We have been traversing the state. You know, we really haven't had too many, it hasn't been a long travel, but it's been a long day. Central Conference softball tournament was in York, and we had those streams for you on Striv Sports on the York and the Crete channel. So this is game number 3 for me today. So if things start to get a little fuzzy, Connor and Kyle, just want you to know that you guys got it. If I just keel over, I trust you can handle it. Osceola won the toss, and so they will go into a kickoff receive formation. Carter Bodine and Caden Tice will be, go ahead and hit the pre there, Connor. Hit where it says pre. Oh, one time, sorry. So click pre. Whoop, what's happening here? There we go. And then you just go over to 1, and now we're ready to go. And it is Brandon Rasmussen with it teed up first here in our first quarter. Down arrow. Learning the clock as we go. Bodine and Tice back deep for Osceola. And we are underway in our Striv TV Game of the Week. It will be Tice from his own 4 on the return. Gets into the middle, slips as he's trying to make a cut, and he gets popped down quickly. Fullerton setting a tone early. 1st and 10, as that was a nice tackle by Chris Sensing. And it will be 1st and 10 from their own 14-yard line for the Bulldogs of Osceola. So Caden Tice at quarter, you might say quarterback. No, most people would say quarterback, but if you have a background in I should say the single wing of offensive football, it would call Caden Tice the spinner back, perhaps. And it is a tight formation, and this is going to be Tice off the left side. It's a nice seam, and he just plows his way, and he's right near first down yardage. Connor Sondrup was in on that tackle.
9-yard gain on the play, bring up 2nd down and 1 for the Bulldogs.
Second and a very short one. Tice deep in the backfield. Short motion from Bodine, and it will be the up man, Garrett Fisher, that takes that carry, and he's got the 15-yard line, which means he's got a first down. Opening possession of the ball game for the Bulldogs of Osceola. Both these teams, like you heard Tony Chapman say in the pregame, both these teams want to come right at you, and they want to run it right down your throat. We've got some big boys, you've got some big boys. Let's see whose big boys are a little better. And that's what makes this game a whole lot of fun. Bodine spread way out to the right now. Tice in the backfield wants it right up the middle. He's got a little seam, and he's out across the 30-yard line. This drive started at their own 14 and currently resides at their own 32-yard line. Connor Sondrup in on the defense for the Warriors of Fullerton. 6 yards there, we will call it. So 2nd and 4. Fisher is the wing on the near side of the offense. And this is going to be Tice all the way. Keeping it to the left, gets stood up at the first down marker, and then that pile, well, you can see there, that's about 16 guys pushing on each other straight away. As best they can, they're might take a look at this just to see if they want to bring the chains out. Official on the near side says first down. Head official, nope, he's going to say, yeah, we're going to bring them out here just to make sure.
We have official timeout for a measurement.
So the first time we get a call on the chain gang in our contest tonight. Put it down at the 30, stretch it out, and that's a first down for the Bulldogs. So far, so good. Just exactly what Coach TJ Nielsen would like to see from his guys. All on the ground, run it right at them, pick up a couple of first downs as they move it across the 35-yard line. Tell you, folks, it is so fun to have the Striv app downloaded on my iPhone. I can favorite every school on the Striv network, and I know when everybody is streaming. This is Garrett Fisher with his first carry. Penalty flag comes down right in the middle of the field. Cole Prasowski was, I believe it was hogtied just a little bit there in the middle of that. And so what should be 2nd and 9 is going to end up being first down again, but first and about 20 for the Bulldogs. And it might go without saying, neither team tonight, and trust me, no team really wants it, but neither team can really afford to be in 1st and 20 or 1st and 15 on any kind of consistency tonight. It's going to put you behind the 8 ball in a big way. So penalties will be paramount tonight for both teams. So it is 1st and 20 back to the 25-yard line. Need to get to the 35 and across the 35 of Fullerton for that first down. Under 10 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. Fisher on a short motion. Got a huge block from Fisher. There goes Tice as he slips through a little crack. Only picks up a few. Boy, Garrett Fisher, it's almost unfair. It's like a guard playing in the backfield. He gets a run at you. You know, usually the guard playing on the offensive line, he doesn't get a run at anybody and then hit him. He just, comes out of his stance and hits somebody. No. Garrett gets a run at you, and it makes you feel bad after you get hit by him. So 2 or 3 on the play there. Second, and they're calling it 18 on the scoreboard with 9:15 to go here in the opening period. Tice will take it, drop to his right and roll. Looking deep, Fisher is out there. Garrett's got the catch and a big first down. Still on his feet, and he evades the tackle. He's going to score. Garrett Fisher from 52 yards out scores for the Bulldogs. Osceola is on the board first in our conversion attempt on the way. And Fisher, he slipped out there. And, that's the other thing about the single wing. Rarely do you have more than 2 guys go out for a pass. So it's usually 5 guys blocking, your quarterback rolling usually, and 2 guys running some sort of a pattern. Play clock winding down for Osceola. They're not going to get the play off. Coach Nielsen going to take the timeout before it would have been a penalty. So a timeout here taken by Osceola coach TJ Nielsen. I tell you, this might actually be good. We'll get Tony here during the timeout. So, Tony, we got you here now live, and I guess this might work as good as any time here during the timeout before the conversion. Yeah. But how about the big fella, Garrett Fisher, slipping out from that wing spot? I was telling him up here that, that single wing, it usually only allows for 2 guys in a pass pattern, and I don't know how you lose Garrett Fisher, but Fullerton lost him there.
Yeah, he got by Elijah Norman. He kind of went up to play. It looked like play the shorter pass and just got enough, and now TJ Nielsen wanted a timeout, and he was yelling rock tomato before it. Let's see what that is. Well,
this is a power play to the right side is what it is, and it's Brennan Bryant on the run, and that makes it 8-0. Osceola on top. So, Tony, if you're going to draw things up for Coach Nielsen and the Bulldogs, run, couple of first downs in there. Penalty sets you back, but on 2nd and 18, you go 52 yards for a pass. You're probably just fine with that.
Yeah, you'll take it. That's exactly how you draw it up. And now, we've got to try to get a little momentum. So you're looking for a stop here and then see if you can hold the ball for a little longer, shorten this game up as much as you can.
That drive took not near enough time. It only took 3 minutes, right?
Right, exactly. We can't have scoring that fast, right?
That fast. What are we, Oregon out here? Come on. All right. Thanks, Tom.
Yep.
So Osceola will be kicking it off with 9:02 to play here in the first quarter. Sonderup and Dubas back to receive this for Fullerton, and Tice has it teed up at his own 30-yard line. Steps into one, laces it to the back of the end zone, an automatic touchback. So 1st and 10 from their own 15. Osceola had it from their own 14 after a little slip from Tice on the return, and he got popped down quick. So neither team has had good field position for their opening possession of the game. Did I mention that it is absolutely gorgeous outside tonight in central Nebraska? We've got some high clouds hanging around, but not really a threat of rain where we are in Osceola, and it's like mid to low 70s and just perfect. This is a handoff. Dubas, left side. He gets cut down quickly across the way. Well defended by Brody Yen. Carson Watts was there as well. Carson, just a freshman, 5'9", 175. Was that Peyton's little brother? Right? Peyton. Carson is Peyton's little brother, right? Yeah, I remember Peyton. Was Peyton, did he graduate 2 years ago? Last year. Yeah, all right, I'm getting there. I'm getting familiar with a few names. 2nd and 9 for Fullerton. Counterplay, near side, Dubas on the carry. Runs into Bodine, and then he runs into a host of others. Tanner Kropatch was there helping clean things up along with Garrett Fisher. Just a short gain. It's going to be 3rd and 7 on the way for the Fullerton Warriors. That was well defended there by Osceola. So again, we will see Hunter Friend in the second half for Fullerton after some disciplinary issues. Rasmussen pressured in the backfield. Down he goes. No, they're going to say it was an incomplete pass and that it was going forward enough apparently, but there with the pressure was Brennan Bryan making the stop, and it's going to be 4th and 7 for Fullerton. Osceola coaches thought that should have been a fumble. It was awful close, but the official right away mentioned enough of a forward pass. The arm was in the right angle anyway, and a stop on 4th down. Good kick from Rasmussen. Hangs. Tice cannot have made the first guy there. Great open field tackle by Connor Sondrup. But it still is going to be nice field position at the 26. And that is where it will be 1st and 10 for Osceola. Leading 8-0. They went right down the field. Scored on the 52-yard pitch and catch to Garrett Fisher from Caden Tice. Tice deep in the backfield. An unbalanced line to his left. Bryan back there as well. This is Tice. Runs into Prasowski, kind of spins off him, then Sondrup puts him down after about a 2 or 3 yard gain for Caden Tice. The other thing about the offense that Osceola runs with this single wing, Caden Tice is going to carry it a lot, especially in a game like this. Big game, good opponent. You're probably going to get a lot of carries from your horse, if you will. And Luke Erickson a couple years ago was a big fella for these Bulldogs as well. But Luke's a little bigger than Caden, so we'll see how Caden handles the whole night of it. A little counter play, and there's Prasowski. He was right in the backfield. Got right on the hip of the pulling guard that time and pulls down Tice for no gain. It's going to be 3rd and 7 for the Bulldogs. This is a great camera angle, Kyle. This is a great camera zoom, by the way. Looks really good. Thank you. So 6:40 to play officially on our game clock. And Osceola a little slow in getting that play in from the sideline. It kind of cost him a timeout on the conversion as well. Bodine going to split out far to the right side. Tice in the backfield with Bryan to his right and an unbalanced line to his right. Step forward. Now he wants the pop pass. Fisher's open again. There goes Garrett Fisher. Down the middle. He is gone. Touchdown, Osceola. 52 yards again to Garrett Fisher. Fisher from Tice. It works. It just works. Throw it up to the big fella who got behind Connor Sondrup that time and beats the little sophomore to the end zone. I tell you, that is a perfectly thrown ball, too, by Caden Tice to just kind of throw it out there and let Garrett go run and go get it. That wasn't a timing route or anything like that. That's just run, big fella, and I'm going to put it out there and you go get it. That was awesome. So a conversion attempt on the way. Tice under center. Wants that little pitch again on the power sweep. Bryan did not make it. But still, it is Osceola 14, Fullerton nothing. We'll take a quick timeout, and we'll come back to Osceola right after this.
It's thanks to you that we're where we are today. We're proud to watch these communities grow because they're our communities too. Our neighbors, our friends. It's where we live. These are all our hometowns. And no matter what, the people who will continue to serve your needs with the hometown support you know and trust are just down the street. Cornerstone Bank. Growing together.
Well, it's 2 drives and 2 touchdown passes, both of them 52 yards from Caden Tice to Garrett Fisher. Those two have played it beautifully so far tonight. That last one was just a gorgeous pass from Tice. And, that's one way not to get hit, by the way. We were talking on that drive that, Caden Tice, he's a solid kid, don't get me wrong, but he's not Luke Erickson big that can maybe handle that pounding. That's going to be down on the 5. Sondrup caught it. Actually, check me that. That was Brady Houghton. Caught that on his knee. So Fullerton will take it from their own 5. By the way, that last scoring drive took a minute 22 was all. So 2:58 and a minute 22 on the 2 scoring drives for Osceola. And they are in the driver's seat right now, leading Fullerton 14-0. Brandon Rasmussen, the sophomore quarterback, goes under center. Dubas behind him, but before anything happens, a penalty flag. Typically, well, now they're motioning over to this near sideline. It's going to be 5 against Osceola. It looks like someone lined up in the neutral zone. That's exactly what happened. So a little breathing room for Fullerton there. They'll move it out to the 10 for 1st and 5. Actually, they're moving across. No, they marked Houghton on the 6 on the kickoff return. So this is from the 11. Counter play and snuffed out quickly, though. The tackle was made by 33, Brennan Bryan. But I tell you, it was one of the D linemen, James Snipes, actually, I believe. I kind of knifed through there and made Dubas kind of cut maybe before he wanted to. So good job there to get something redirected. 2nd and 3.5. Dubas kind of picks his way forward, and then Bryan and a host of Bulldogs push him backwards. Going to be real close. I think he's got first down yardage, actually. They're going to mark him all the way out to the 17, almost 18-yard line. Kropatch was in there for the tackle as well. By the way, make sure to check out our Striv Sports Twitter page, our Twitter profile. We've got lots of videos from some softball today, and then we'll have pictures and videos from this game here tonight. Fisher sheds a block and makes a tackle on Dubas at the 20. You got to see it kind of out in the open there, just how strong Garrett Fisher is to just throw his blocker out of the way and then make the tackle on Dubas. 2nd and 8 upcoming for Fullerton. This drive, remember, started on their own 6 after Houghton was on a knee as he fielded a low kickoff. They want the quick hitter to the fullback this time. That's John Witovic, and Fisher says, no, we're not going anywhere. Stop right there. Brennan Bryan was also in there. And now it's 3rd and 7 again for the Warriors of Fullerton. As we approach the 4-minute mark of this first quarter, we did get an update from Champaign, Illinois, that the Huskers were up 7-0. Go Big Red. Here it is the orange team leading the red team, 14-0. Rasmussen wants to pass, chucks it deep down the near sideline. A man is out there. It is caught. It is inbounds. There are no penalty flags. Touchdown. It's T.J. Dubas for the score. .62 yards on the pass play. Oh, I beg your pardon, 59. 59 was our yard line. And now the all-important conversion attempt with 3:49 to go. Rasmussen wants a handoff over to the left side and not going to make it. You see the lines piling on each other, but it's a failed on the touchdown, but still on the board is Fullerton. 14-6 our score. We will come back to Osceola right after this. So we go click.
Nova Fitness Equipment of Omaha has provided the very best weight room, track and field, and sports surfacing products for over 30 years in Nebraska. They provide Cybex, Matrix Fitness, Vertimax, Tough Stuff, Pro Elite, Stairmaster, York Barbell, Troy Barbell, and UCS track and performance products. From rubber flooring, strength equipment, cardio products, and sports performance accessories, Nova Fitness Equipment has what you need to make your athletic program successful. Contact Nova Fitness Equipment today at their home office in Omaha or online at novafitnessequipment.com.
So 14-6, we'll get our scoreboard updated. Fullerton on the board after the 59-yard touchdown pass from Rasmussen to Dubas. And the ensuing kickoff coming shortly.
Back to receive for the Bulldogs. Number 5, Carter Bodine. And number 4, Bryce Reed.
So Rasmussen set to kick it away to Bodine and Tice. No wind whatsoever to speak of here in Osceola, so no advantage either way that you're moving. Off to the far side and close, and that will go out of bounds. So a decision perhaps for Coach TJ Nielsen. We'll go down to the sideline and Tony Chapman. And Tony, I thought I heard you say that these two teams were going to run it right at each other and that we were going to be out of here quick. No, we've got 3 touchdown passes, all over 50 yards so far in this game.
That's why I don't coach. So, it's been obviously taking advantage of what the defense has given them there. That was just a great throw from Rasmussen to Dubas. Dubas, a nice back, and I don't know if you can see it up there, but it says 180. Man, I don't know. He's filled out. I might even maybe say he's 190 or 200 pounds, and he's a good running back, running behind a pretty big offensive line even there too, Eric. So it'll be interesting to see how this one shakes out. I got a feeling that there might be a lot of touchdowns in this one. We'll see how it goes.
Well, I'd be okay with that. I'm not going to lie. That'd be kind of fun, actually.
Yeah.
So after the procedure penalty on the kick out of bounds, this will be Bodine from his own 3. It was still a good kick by Rasmussen, and the return goes out to the 20-yard line. So Osceola will have it for the 3rd time already in this first quarter. 3:49 to play in the period. It's terribly exciting. It's so exciting. I'm breaking out in a rash. No, that's the gnats. Terrible. That's the only bad thing about tonight is the gnats. Let me tell you. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from their own 20-yard line. This is Tice moving to his left, running behind his blockers and picking up 7 or 8 yards. Sondrup was there along with Elijah Norman, one of the defensive backs. But you know what, at the same time, and we kind of laugh and kid about it right now because it's been 3 big pass plays. That's what both of these teams, if they're going to throw it, they're not going to throw a 5-yard hitch route, right? I mean, they are going to play action and try to get somebody going deep down the field. It's been an average of 20 yards per completion for Rasmussen on the season so far. So throwing it deep and expecting a big play out of it, that's what they want. It just happened to everybody's hit on 3 of them already tonight. Tice on the carry there. And Sondrup makes a tackle. We've said that a couple times, but already out to the 33, so 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs of Osceola. Lots of games going on the Striv Network tonight. I know York was at home. Lincoln Christian played this afternoon. Just a ton of games. Who else came up here? Cross County came up. A whole bunch of schools on the Striv Network tonight. Make sure you check out the schedule page of striv.tv. Tice picking his way to the right. He gets to that last level, spinning around, and is tackled at the 38-yard line. The hometown faithful appreciating the effort and the drive from Caden Tyson. I tell you, that offensive line for Osceola, I don't want to say that they're necessarily blowing Fullerton backwards, but they are doing a really nice job tying up guys that could make tackles. And so it's letting Tice get to that last level. He's getting to the safety and the corners back there. And this is fun to watch. From their own 38-yard line with 2:15 to go in the opening quarter. Osceola with it, 2nd and 4. Short snap to Bryan that time, and he just lunges forward, and he's going to be real close to first down. And I tell you, that time I will say it, yes, they did move the pile forward, did that offensive line. It was actually some linebackers that kind of came around the edge to make the tackle on Bryan. But the offensive line, that moved the Fullerton pile that time. That was well done by the Bulldogs. 3rd and 1 is where they will mark Bryan, so they'll give him 3 on that carry with 1:40 to go here in the opening period. Fisher is the running back to the right as Tice goes under center. Bryan, and we got a penalty flag, which is too bad for Osceola because Caden Tice would still be running probably to Albion by now. And they call encroachment against the offense, which it's a procedure. It's not really encroachment. It's still 5 yards against the offense. So 3rd and 1 becomes 3rd and 6. With officially 1:30. So we'll let the clock just kind of sit there for a little bit, and then we'll catch up. Make sure you catch up when it gets to 1:05 on that clock up there, and our clock should run. It's all right. Connor on Wirecast, Kyle on the camera here tonight. 3rd and 6 for the Bulldogs. Handoff to the right side for Fisher. Has a little seam. He's got a first down as he gets it to the Fullerton 35-yard line. He picks up 8 on the play. Elijah Norman was the last guy standing between Garrett Fisher and another long touchdown. You know that the way that gets blocked a little bit, it's almost like a counter play to Fisher. And so when you get kind of a wash down from the play side and then you get 1 or 2 good kick-out blocks, that can open up a seam, and that's exactly where Garrett Fisher was running on that play. Low snap and a penalty flag. That's probably going to be another 5 yards back against Osceola. We've seen a couple of false start procedure penalties and then 1 holding so far tonight. It's about the only thing that Osceola hasn't done real cleanly. So move it back right to the midfield stripe. Hey, we finally hit 3 minutes on a drive. Haven't done that at all yet tonight. We were at 2:58 on that opening drive, by the way, for Osceola. 1st and 15 from the midfield stripe. Tice to the right side. Caden leaning forward. He's close to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 2nd down and about 11, though. John Watovic in on the tackle for Fullerton. We mentioned the Warriors in the pregame. Only 3 seniors on the roster, so this is a group of guys that's only going to get better, and they're really pretty good already, right? 5-0, they're 2nd in the playoff points. We'll see if Osceola does get this snap off before the end of the first quarter. It looks like they probably will, just barely. Tice will take it to the left side, gets behind a blocker, and he gets it just inside the 30-yard line where he's tackled by Elijah Norman, and that will bring us to the end of the first quarter. Osceola 14, Fullerton 6. And the Bulldogs on the drive when we come back for our Striv TV Game of the Week right after this.
The trucking industry gives you a lot of opportunity for careers because there's such a wide, vast list of possibilities and areas that you can go into. As technicians, these trucks are as advanced as cars are today, so we need technicians that can work on them and understand how to work the computer system and get them up and running so the customer can make money. These trucks are workhorses, but they're built for comfort and they're easy to drive. Freightliner builds these trucks for drivers' wants and customers' needs.
A fun and exciting first quarter here in Osceola. The Bulldogs leading the 10th-ranked team in Class D2 Fullerton 14-6 on the strength of two big pass plays from Caden Tice to Garrett Fisher. Each of them covered 52 yards. We've got 3rd and 5, though, for the Bulldogs on this, their longest possession for either team in the game so far. This is Tice on a power play to the right side. Got some blockers. He's got a first down. He wants a lot more. Bumped out of bounds near the 17-yard line. First down for the Bulldogs. Sondrup ushers him out, but a nice pickup there. And I tell you, you run that little counter, you kind of run that sweep to the back that comes in that motion a few times. And then you fake it to him, and suddenly Tice just keeps it. Now you've got an extra blocker out there, and now you've got one runner and 7 blockers going to the point of attack. We call that student body right. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. There goes Fisher in that short motion, but they're going to snap it short to Bryan, and that pile just kind of leans forward inside the 15-yard line near the 14. You got to wait for everybody to get off the pile before you realize there's Cole Prososki, the 285-pound senior, out there making the tackle. C.J. Pickrell, the 205-pound sophomore, was also in on the tackle. So about 2 on that play, 2nd and 8 from the 14. And with a 1-score advantage and the momentum seemingly on their side, Osceola not in a big hurry to run any plays here. Garrett Fisher trying to pick his way out to the left side. Now he's going to try to cut back. Oh, this might not go well. Needs some blocks. Now Fisher evades a couple, and, well, he ran a long way, and he gained about 3 yards, maybe 2. That was real close to being a Mike Rozier 1981 against UCLA run that officially went down in the scorebook as a 4-yard touchdown, but I believe the estimated run was 51 total yards that he ran from one sideline to backwards and then finally went forwards. We'll be generous and give Garrett 2 yards there. It is 3rd and 6 from the 13-yard line. Tice on a little counter block. He will lean forward for a couple, down to about the 8. It's going to be a yard shy. It's going to be 4th and a yard and a half. Layshock in on the tackle. James Layshock, that is, 165-pound junior, and a starter at linebacker. So 4th and short here. Substituting a defensive lineman in there as we see number 50, Levi Foland, come in. Levi is starter on the offensive line, now in there on defense on this 4th and short. 9:43 and rolling here in the second quarter. Tice deep in the backfield on 4th and short. Got a flinch, but nobody into the neutral zone. Checks the sideline. Coach Nielsen calls timeout. So good job by Fullerton. They flinched along the defensive line, but they didn't get into that neutral zone. That's important. And so Osceola says, okay, we'll take the timeout, and we'll probably be ready for a play coming up after this then. So 9:30 to go. So keep in mind, in a 12-minute quarter, this drive started with 3:49 left in the first quarter. So we're about 5 minutes, right? A little over 5 minutes on this drive. It's been a really nice end of the first, start of the second quarter here for the Osceola Bulldogs. But they want to get points on the board. Last time that Fullerton had it was a 59-yard touchdown pass to T.J. Dubas from Brandon Rasmussen. And so you gotta beware that offense, they definitely had that big play capability, but now the good thing is at least they've had the ball for another 5 minutes, so they haven't had it. They haven't been able to generate that momentum. This is a big one, though. 4th and 1. Tice deep in the backfield. He will take it left side, goes forward, that leans, and that's a good push from the offensive line. If he's got the 5, he's got the first down, and he does. Good run by Caden Tyson, a great push from the offensive line up front. The big fellas for the Dogs making room. 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. The other thing that does is as soon as they blow the play ready to go, It could be about 9 minutes or just a little over 9 minutes left in this quarter when you get ready to snap it again. Tice with the unbalanced line to his right. Bodine is the wing on the right side. This is Tice, runs right into a wall, spins off the first couple of guys and gets it to the 4. And boy, he had to drag 4 Warriors to do it. Sondrup was there along with 99. That's Pickrell.
Tackle was made by number 2, Connor Sondrup. Number 99, TJ Pickrell. Brings up second goal just inside the 5 for the Bulldogs.
Second and 5 here. Tice on that counter block. Penalty flag comes down. If it stands, it's a 5-yard touchdown run, but I don't think it's going to stand. Prososki slow to get up from the middle of the pile, and I think that's right where the penalty flag came down. Oh, and a chop block is the call. That's why Prososki was slow to get up. So chop block is an illegal block in which one offensive player is engaged with a defensive player, shall we say, up high, right? They're blocking each other, and both can kind of play each other, right? And then the chop block is a second offensive player hits the defensive player at or below the waist. And that can be a very dangerous situation because, way back when that was legal, you had a really good defensive lineman. Well, first play of the game, you'd have one guy block high and the second guy would come in and take his knees out. He might be hurt for the game, and that would really change things. So that rule is a safety thing so that offensive teams can't do that intentionally. I'm not saying that was by any means, but definitely you can't be doing that. And so Prososki comes out of the game, and the touchdown comes off the board, and instead we move it all the way back to the 19-yard line as a 15-yard personal foul penalty. So now the unbalanced line set to the right, Tice in the backfield. This will be Caden to the right. Gets into the open field for just a moment. Gets it down to the 10. And if Sondrup doesn't make that tackle, who's the last guy there, Tice is in the end zone. Instead, it's 3rd and goal from right at the 10-yard line.
9-yard gain on that play will bring up second goal just outside the 10-yard line.
3rd and goal, actually. So we replayed second down. That's what that one was. Unbalanced line to the right, but a wing on the left. Tice will roll to his left. Pressure from behind, throws it at the left, and it is caught. Penalty flag down again. It's caught down to the 1 by 28. That's Carson Watts, but I think it might be going backwards again. Holding again against the Bulldogs. They could have scored a couple times by now. So it's either going to be 4th and 2, or it looks like it would be 3rd and goal, and it would be from about the 23-yard line. Yeah, if I'm Fullerton, I'm taking this, and they call it on Brody Yen, number 29. I could hear the official. I've never heard an official yell it that loud. But, I've been in some stadiums where a high school will have a microphone pack for the official, and then you hear it on the PA. But, nope, he just belted out what that penalty was. Okay. So we're going to move it on. Actually, the penalty apparently happened, the hold, on the 10. So we move it back to the 20. Clock rolling now at 7 minutes to go. 3rd down and goal to go. Tice on a pass the whole way. Steps up, lobs it left side. It is incomplete. Boy, just about picked off in the end zone. Elijah Norman had a good crack at it, but couldn't haul it in for the INT. And so it will be 4th down and goal from the 20 for Osceola. And somehow, some way, I have a feeling this drive is about to end in one more play. Let's see. There's 5. There's 8 minutes, 49. This is a 9-minute drive, essentially, that Osceola has been on. It started with 3:49 left in the first quarter. 4th and goal from the 20. Tice straight back to the end zone. tipped away at the last second, then running into the goalpost. Norman tipped it away from the intended receiver, which was Watts. Watts, I don't know, he'd been inbounds anyway. So Fullerton takes over. 1st and 10 from their own 20 with 6:41 left. I will do the official math for you maybe during halftime on how long that drive was. Handoff to Dubas, who hasn't had it for nearly a quarter, and he gets stacked up. And that's a good wrap-up tackle there by Yen, and then late after the fact. We didn't need to do that, fellas. Penalties have been an issue tonight for the home team in black. And what should have been a nice tackle is going to end up being a 15-yard penalty, and 15 yards from the end of the run is going to be a first down. What's that? An unsportsmanlike, a little pushing after the whistle. Late hit, if you will.
Personal foul, 15 yards. The Warriors have it 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line.
So move it out to the 35 now for Fullerton. And the spread formation, first time we've seen this. It's 2 receivers, including Dubas in the slot to the left. That is Brent Witovic, split out to the right side. And Osceola did not know how they wanted to defend that. And Coach DJ Nielsen has taken the 3rd timeout of this first half. See if we can't get Tony Chapman on the phone. And there he is on the sideline now, Tony Chapman down there. Tony, I haven't done my official math, but it's something that was that close to a 9-yard drive or 9-minute drive from Osceola that didn't result in any points, though.
Yeah, it ended at 6:41. Yeah, you're right, 3:45 to 6. Yeah, it was almost 10 minutes, actually, I think, Eric. And no points. And TJ's a little warm down here. I think some ill-advised penalties that they need to kind of get rid of and clean up, because they're really physically kind of like they kind of got control of this thing physically, but it doesn't look like it. So this is a big series here before halftime.
Yep, 6:25 remaining before the half. We'll check in at the halftime break. Tony also gets us our stats during the games as well. So this is 1st and 10 for Fullerton. They'll send a man in motion out to the right. That's Dubas. And Rasmussen on the drop will get hit as he throws, and it falls harmlessly incomplete, but he got drilled in the back that time by Carson Watts. And Rasmussen is a little slow and kind of gimpy as he gets up. Clock stopped with 6:20 to go. Coming up at halftime, Tony will have some stats. But does the band play or cheerleaders dance or anything at halftime? You know, if anybody doing anything? Sometimes? Well, if anything's happening at halftime, we'll show it. I guess that's the point. Delayed handoff on a little counter play. This is Dubas, and he's got a seam down the near sideline. Stays on his feet before he's bumped out of bounds. First down carry for TJ Dubas down to the 30-yard line, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield of Fullerton, thrown in the general vicinity of holding. But we'll see. They're going to go talk to whenever they start talking to one team's captain, that's a good thing for that team, because it's usually a penalty on the other team when that happens. So there was, I'm sorry, I didn't realize there was a penalty right in front of the Osceola bench that I could not see. So there was 2 penalties, both of them holding against Fullerton. So 10 yards so they declined one and they took the other one. whatever that's worth. So second down and now 20 to go. Rasmussen under center. Dubas in the backfield. Now TJ will motion out to the right side. Rasmussen has pressure, just lobs it up. That is Brent Witovic, and he goes up. Did he make the catch? Or is it an INT? No, incomplete. I thought Witovic came down with it for a second. Then I see that the ball was actually in the hands of was that Watts? Or Yen, yeah, one of the two. As, again, the defensive line pressure for Osceola made Rasmussen just barely not – he didn't even get into his drop, and he just threw that up like you're playing 500 back in the backyard, you know. Jackpot. Throw it up there. Third down and a bunch. 3rd and 20 it is. Penalty flag, or whistle, I should say, before this one gets going, and I think we're going to get a timeout for Fullerton coach Ryan Houghton. That will be the case. So a timeout for Fullerton, 6:02 to play. So as long as this drive has taken in real time on your watch, we have taken like 39 seconds of game clock off, which is crazy to me because it seems like we've had this possession. It's been going on for like 10 minutes. We've only taken 39 seconds off the clock. So like Tony said, and he hit the nail on the head, Osceola, despite all of the penalties, physically, Osceola is dominating this game. But the scoreboard is where we keep score, right? We don't keep score by physical domination. We keep score on a scoreboard. And right now it's only an 8-point game, so it only takes one defensive breakdown or one big play like we saw from TJ Dubas last possession for Fullerton. He went 59 yards on a pitch and catch, and Rasmussen didn't have much time to throw it, but he had enough time then. So, this is still one play from being a tie game or even, well, I guess it couldn't be a lead, but we could see a tie game in short order. That's Brent Witovic split to the bottom of the formation. In fact, he's out of the screen. Shotgun and split backs. Rasmussen with a quick pass, right through the hands of Brady Houghton. It was open. He was on the slant. He could not squeeze it, though. It's 4th and 20. So that drive took 42 seconds off of the game clock. And it's going to result in a punt. Good snap. This is Rasmussen, the punter. End over end. It will take a nice roll for Fullerton. Tice gets away from it. And it will be blown dead at about the 18-yard line. So Osceola will have it 1st and 10 from their own 18 with 5:50 to go here in the first half. No timeouts, remember, for the Bulldogs. We just got an update from Champaign, 14-3, Nebraska on top. ESPN app told me that DeMornay Pearsonell took a short pass and went 45 yards for a score. I don't know if that was the first or the second one, but hey, must be DeMornay. 1st and 10 here. Sorry, I had to do it. 1st and 10 from the 18. This is Tice on that little counter block that's worked pretty well tonight. And he gets it across the 20 out near the 23-yard line. Elijah Norman in on the tackle. And 10 is James Leashock.
Five-yard gain on a player, bring up 2nd and 5 for the Bulldogs.
Second and 5. This is the big fella, Garrett Fisher, and Garrett's into the open field. One guy trying to track him down. There goes Garrett Fisher. Touchdown, Bulldogs. 57 yards on the run for Garrett Fisher. He has scored from 52 and 52 on catches and 57 on a run. Garrett Fisher is my favorite big fella I have ever seen in my life officially now. And just trucking and running away from those little defensive backs. I love it. Tice on the 2-point attempt. Right up the middle, waits for his blockers and gets it in for the run. 22-6. Osceola with a big score with 5 minutes to go here in the first half. Boy, that was a big one. And like Tony said, with the physicality that Osceola is playing this ball game with, they are physically whooping on Fullerton right now. And should probably be up one more score, actually. Remember, they had a touchdown taken off the board, and it was still 2nd and goal from the 5. And, some more penalties. They ended up back on the 20, so they ended up not scoring. But if you need a touchdown and you're a long ways away, Garrett Fisher is your man. His touchdown runs have covered 161 yards tonight. He's got 3 touchdowns that have covered 161 total yards. That is awesome. So Fullerton now will get it with 5:04 here to play in the second quarter. Low line drive from Tice. It's through the hands. Oh, now it's all the way back to the 2-yard line for Houghton, and he gets across the 10 and he gets thrown backwards. Good coverage there. Bryce Reed, a freshman, was down there first. And a great job by Bryce to make the open field tackle. We need to zoom in on Garrett Fisher real quick. That's my favorite man on the field, and he's not on the field. He's on the sidelines right now. Right at the end of the line there. There we go. We need a nice zoom in. There's Garrett. Toweling off. Oh, wait. I got to go play defense here, don't I? Take a second. Just take a second, Garrett. Tie your shoes. This is Dubas in the backfield, and he goes nowhere. Again, we're expecting to see Hunter Friend in the second half, missing this first half due to some disciplinary issues. But the way that Osceola is controlling on the offensive and defensive lines, I don't know that it matters really who's in the backfield for the Fullerton Warriors. That is a gain of 1, so it's 2nd and 9. Rasmussen will go under center. Has a wing over to his right side. I believe that is Witovic. They want the toss sweep out there and hit in the backfield. Tristan Johnston was there first and ends up being no gain. Actually, good job just to get back to the line of scrimmage. Brendan Bryan there to help finish things off, but Tristan Johnston was back there quickly in the backfield. And I tell you what, that's where the Bulldogs have lived on the defensive line, has been in the backfield of Fullerton here in this first half, and we're going to get a whistle. We have a Warrior down across the way, or at least down on one knee. That might be, well, I'm not sure who it is. The injured Warrior is TJ Dubas. Does get up under his own power across the way. See if we can't spot him through the binoculars. Perhaps just got the wind knocked out of him. Nobody's really taken a good look at him on the far sideline, just getting a drink of water. So might have just got the wind knocked out of him. We hope that's all it was. In any effect, it is 3rd down and about 8 or 9 here. And now we're going to get a whistle and a timeout taken by Fullerton. So they've got one timeout remaining. 3:42 remaining in this first half, and we will come back to Osceola after this.
Participating in Nebraska high school activities has taught me about teamwork.
I've learned how to lead among my peers.
At my high school, I have set goals and I work hard to accomplish them.
I like to run on my cross country team. It makes me feel good about myself.
The Nebraska School Activities Association providing opportunities in 25 activities in our 303 high schools. NSAA activities, the other half of education.
Connor on Wirecast, Kyle on the camera. My name is Eric. Thanks for joining us here tonight. We didn't think we were going to have any of you guys. Connor and Kyle, you guys have been fantastic tonight. Thank you. 3rd down and 9 for Fullerton from their own 13, already trailing 22-6. This is a big conversion attempt. Rasmussen pressured right away, rolls to his right, fires it down the sideline, and it's incomplete. Closest guy to it was wearing a black jersey, and the defense has held again for Osceola. We got people that just don't know what to cheer right now. We're so excited about the game, we don't know what even to cheer. 4th and 9. It's punt, I think. We're trying to do something with that ball. Rasmussen gets the kick away. Tice will let it bounce, and now he will just let it get down at the 26-yard line. So Osceola will have it. 1st and 10 right there. Oh, don't be kicking the cameras, fellas. Gee, take it easy. It's pretty intense, isn't it? So we'll see what Osceola and Coach TJ Nielsen can work up here. 3:35, no timeouts, but 3:35 hasn't been, the timing of a drive hasn't been an issue. Because this fella, Garrett Fisher, he finally got tackled for less than a touchdown. That hasn't happened a lot tonight, but he does pick up 8 yards there as he gets it out to the 44-yard line, 34-yard line. For just a second, I went back to an 11-man field. I'm sorry. That was incorrect. Garrett Fisher is the stand-up wing on the far side of the formation. Unbalanced line to the right. Snap it to the short back. And the ball gets ripped out of there. But Brian on the ball carrier, he did not make it anywhere. Pickerel was there, and making the pile on the bottom there was Prososki. Cole, one of the best interior linemen in the 8-man ranks, and maybe one of the best interior linemen of any class in the area. 4-year starter along that defensive front for Coach Houghton. This is going to be a 3rd and 1 with 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. Tice runs it straight forward over left guard. He's got a first down. As again, I've been really, really impressed with the Osceola offensive line. When I got the roster from Coach Nielsen this week, couldn't help but notice that, there's 250, 230, 190 on the line, and then you add 200 and you add 190 in the backfield. And pretty quick you go, that's some big fellas playing 8-man football. And they play it pretty well here in Osceola. 1st and 10 from their own 38. 2 minutes to go, first half. The little pitch sweep. This is Brendan Bryan. The ball comes out. And I think Fullerton has got the football. The first turnover of the night belongs to the Warriors. Coming up with it was James Leshock. So Fullerton takes over 1st and 10 from their own 35 with 1:52 left. And I don't believe, maybe one timeout, but no more than one for the Warriors. That's Brent Witovic split to the bottom of your screen. Brady Houghton is split to the top. Split backs on either side of Rasmussen. Brandon drops straight back, lobs it down the near sideline. It is incomplete. He was looking for Wojtovic. Tice, the safety, came over to help his corner, Brody Yen. And there is a penalty flag down. Didn't see that one come down. And it's a hold against Fullerton. So we're going to go back to about the 25 for this first down again, or it's going to be 2nd and 10 for Fullerton. Connor, I got to ask, who is the assistant coach that's the taller one right here in front of 40 and 46, and now he's walking? Yeah. Dan Tice? Dan Tice. Dan is an excited guy. Dan seems like an excited guy. First and 20 from their own 25. Rasmussen, quick pass on the slant again, right through the hands of Houghton. That time he heard footsteps, though, as Carson Watts was bearing down on him inside out. And if Houghton catches that, Watts was going to light him up in the next week, I think. 2nd and 20. Now, the thing about that pass, even though it's been dropped twice by Houghton, it's been open twice right there on that quick slant to Houghton. That is definitely something that Fullerton is giving them, or Osceola is giving Fullerton, is that quick slant. Rasmussen sends Dubas in motion. TJ, he's clearly hobbled, not at full speed out there. They want a delayed handoff to Sondra, and he spins off of one, but he cannot get away from Caden Tice, and it is going to be 3rd and long. Dubas is not anywhere close to full speed, though. He came in motion there and was limping bad. So a less than full speed TJ Dubas is not a good thing. And again, we expected to see in the second half Hunter Friend, who is the leading rusher for Fullerton on the year. Hunter is sitting out the first half due to a disciplinary action. Rasmussen lines it up, fires it deep. Nobody home, though. I would imagine it'd be fairly difficult to overthrow Brent Wojtovic, but Rasmussen managed to pull that off, actually. Of course, if we put everybody on the track, I'd take Brent in any of those races, like no matter how long it is. The guy won the 400, the 800, the mile, and I believe was on a 4x4 for Fullerton last year. Almost won Class D by himself. 4th down, we'll call it 17 with 1:02. And now Rasmussen, he's got some room. He's going to wait. Well, he can't throw it at this point. Now he finally kicks it way late, and it's a great kick. It's going to go down to the 6-yard line. Boy, Rasmussen, he kind of held back like he was going to fake it, and then by the time he wanted to maybe kind of throw it, but he had linemen already downfield, so he couldn't. So, well, this turned out to be it turned out to be a really good punt is what it did, down to the 6. So Osceola will have it 1st and 10 with 48 seconds to go. I think, yeah, absolutely. I'd send Garrett Fisher straight down the field, throw it up there for him, say, go get it, fella. We'll buy you some steak tomorrow, but tonight you got to go catch something. This is Tice, left side the whole way, and he's across the 10 and out near the 12-yard line. Prososki over there in on the tackle. Tice in the backfield. Fisher, the stand-up wing. This is Tice coming near side the whole way. Tries to get out of the pile there, but is pulled down. And John Wojtovic in on that tackle as well. It is going to be real close to first down yardage. I don't think it's going to matter. It looks like Osceola is content to take this one to the half, and that is exactly what will happen. The Osceola fans up on their feet as their Bulldogs will head to the halftime break, up 22-6 on the 10th-ranked Fullerton Warriors. A dominating first half physically on the line of scrimmage, but it's 3 big plays, 2 big pass plays. Garrett Fisher from Caden Tice covering 52 and 52 yards. Garrett Fisher's 57-yard run in there as well. So 22-6, your halftime score. Oh, by the way, the only score for Fullerton covered 59 yards. So the shortest touchdown we've seen tonight of the 4 is 52 yards. If you make a drive, you're not scoring. That's just how it is. Yep, halftime, 22-6. Osceola on top. Our halftime break is up next.
It's thanks to you that we're where we are today. We're proud to watch these communities grow because they're our communities too. Our neighbors, our friends. It's where we live. These are all our hometowns. And no matter what, the people who will continue to serve your needs with the hometown support you know and trust are just down the street. Cornerstone Bank, growing together.
Nova Fitness Equipment of Omaha has provided the very best weight room, track and field, and sports surfacing products for over 30 years in Nebraska. They provide Cybex, Matrix Fitness, Vertimax, Tough Stuff, Pro Elite, Stairmaster, York Barbell, Troy Barbell, and UCS track and performance products. From rubber flooring, strength equipment, cardio products, and sports performance accessories, Nova Fitness Equipment has what you need to make your athletic program successful. Contact Nova Fitness Equipment today at their home office in Omaha or online at novafitnessequipment.com.
Trucking industry gives you a lot of opportunity for careers because there's such a wide, vast list of possibilities and areas that you can go into. As technicians, these trucks are as advanced as cars are today, so we need technicians that can work on them and understand how to work the computer system and get them up and running so the customer can make money. These trucks are workhorses, but they're built for comfort and they're easy to drive. Freightliner builds these trucks for drivers' wants and customers' needs.
Participating in Nebraska high school activities has taught me about teamwork.
I've learned how to lead among my peers.
At my high school, I have set goals and I work hard to accomplish them.
I like to run on my cross country team. It makes me feel good about myself.
The Nebraska School Activities Association providing opportunities in 25 activities in our 303 high schools. NSAA activities, the other half of education.
Fun game in Osceola tonight. The Bulldogs leading Fullerton 22-6 at the halftime break. I want to just get you caught up if you haven't yet, or maybe you're just watching our game. I'm just going scrolling hashtag NEB Preps on Twitter, and I'm just going to say whatever I see here, folks. So let's start at the top where York is leading Sydney 42-7. You can actually see that game on the York Striv channel. Scotts Bluff is taking on McCook, a big one out west tonight in Class B. Missed PAT after the Bearcats strike first. So Scotts Bluff leading McCook 6-0 with 3:48 left in the first quarter. Omaha Skutt leading Columbus 26-7. Columbus with 241 yards of offense at the half, but 3 turnovers. Preston Walker runs it in himself. Elm Creek leading Amherst 46-0 with 1:42 left in that first half. Fairbury has been a big, I don't want to call them a surprise, but they've been off to a great start so far. They are up 42-0 at their half. Jacob Johnson with a big first half for the Jeffs. We mentioned York leading Sydney 42-7. Donovan Trumbull scores the first points of the game on Hastings St. Cecilia, leading 7-0, and that opens the second half. Hastings is leading Alliance in the first quarter, 7-0 with 6 minutes left. Shadron leading Ogallala at halftime, 30-0. At the half, Shelby Rising City leading Fillmore Central 28-7. It is homecoming for the Huskies on the field turf in Shelby. Elsewhere in 8-man football tonight, Overton leading Bertrand 32-14. Overton has led the entire game after recovering a Bertrand fumble on the first play from scrimmage. East Butler is up big on Nebraska Lutheran. Actually, that's a final. East Butler beats Nebraska Lutheran 50-28, so Nebraska Lutheran suffers their first loss of the season. And East Butler, I believe, are they still undefeated? Maybe lost one game so far this year, but the Tigers were young last year, looking good this year. In Class C2 at the top, this one could have been a really good one too. Centennial 14, St. Paul nothing at the half. Wynot is leading Wausau 30-28 at halftime. And that's about what I'm seeing here. Humphrey Lindsay Holy Family leading High Plains 36-28. I do not see a time on that. Let's see. Norfolk Catholic is playing the defending champion O'Neill. O'Neill has struggled this year. Dylan Counts has 145 yards rushing for the Knights. O'Neill as a team has 118 yards of total offense. So those are some of the scores. Again, I was just scrolling hashtag NDB Preps on Twitter to find some of those. You might find more scores on strive.tv and click on the schedule at the top of the page there and see all of the games that are going on. I know Cross County and Sutton. Mustangs were leading that one big in the later stages of the first half, so wouldn't expect that to be much different here as they get ready for the start of their second half. We're going to step aside for just a little bit. We'll have Tony Chapman tell us the stats of this first half. Osceola 22, Fullerton 6. The stats might tell a different story. This is a big first half for Osceola. And Fullerton basically got one good play on offense, and that was about it. But we'll have Tony tell us about that coming up in just a minute. Like we said, and like you could see on the scoreboard, halftime it is Osceola 22, Fullerton 6. And Tony, we were kidding there for a while, and it still ended up being the battle of big plays offensively in that first half. For two teams that we thought we were just going to run it right at each other. Our first three scores of the night covered 52, 52, and 59 through the air. We got one big run in there, but from a physicality standpoint, you mentioned this late in that first half, that Osceola seems like they are physically dominating Fullerton on both sides of the offensive and defensive lines. The scoreboard doesn't quite tell that story yet, though.
Yeah, not quite, but you look at this thing, and this is one where you go, boy, at some point this is going to flip. Osceola has run 33 plays for 296 yards, and Fullerton has run 18 plays for 78 yards. And they have a 59-yard touchdown. They've only been able to run 10 times for 19 yards. Osceola has really limited that run game. They haven't been able to get Dubas loose at all. And so Fullerton's going to get the ball here. They're 1 for 8 passing. So they've got to figure out a way to sustain a drive, start getting a little bit of lead on the line of scrimmage. I mean, football is a simple game. If you win the line of scrimmage, you're probably going to do okay. Osceola has won it in spades in the first half.
I was going to ask you that because from up here, I thought through, I think I even made the comment maybe in the first quarter that it didn't necessarily seem like Osceola was moving Fullerton off the line of scrimmage, but they were doing a nice job of continuing and sustaining blocks. Tony, go north. Get away from the band. But it seemed like as soon as I said that, well, they weren't really moving Fullerton, suddenly the offensive line for Osceola just started moving the line for Fullerton. And we saw, I started to see, especially in that second quarter, a wonderful surge from the offensive line, and it let Caden Tice and Garrett Fisher and those guys start to kind of get behind a blocker and just kind of wait for someone to fall out of place before they made their cut.
Yeah, I think that the best way to illustrate that, Eric, is you look at Caden Tice's run list. He's got 20 carries for 99 yards. So it's almost right at 5 yards a pop. And you just look at it, and that's about what it is. He's got one run that was a 1 yard loss. But 19 of his 20 carries have been positive gains. And that's really helped Osceola really just kind of control the clock, do what they want. You know, they were hampered by the drive we thought would epitomize this game. Didn't result in any points. We thought it was a long drive. That thing ended up being, it was about. I'm trying to count it up here. It was 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
7 and 9.
It was 15 plays, I believe, or 16 plays, and it didn't result in any points.
Well, and it was 9 minutes and it was 10. It was right at 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really think this first possession of the second half, if you're Fullerton, they've got to actually, I think, try to score here. I mean, I think if they don't score, if this is a 3 and out or a 1 first down type drive, and they've got to punt it away, you know, you look at the way this thing's gone, that might be their only possession of the third quarter, and then Osceola really has control of this thing there, and now if you're Fullerton, then you got to try to throw it a little bit to extend the game a little bit. So this is a big drive here for Fullerton, and they've got to be able to figure out a way to lean on Osceola a little bit, lean on that defense a little bit. But man, the Bulldogs look like, they look like a team that, you see 2-3, and if they win this one, maybe 3-3, and they got St. Francis still. And boy, would you want to see maybe a 5-3 or a 4-4 Osceola team in the playoffs?
No.
I don't think so. Yeah, I agree with you. I think this is a team that has just played a really good schedule and is still built to win a few games maybe once the season's over.
Yeah, and, anytime you got, and I think I mentioned it, I don't know if you and I have talked during the game, but 250, 230, 190 for your offensive line, and you've got 235 and 190 running the ball behind it.
Yeah, they're big.
There's some big fellas out there wearing the black and orange out there.
Yeah, and they just, they really, they are a football team that you just look at them, they just want to wear you out.
Yep.
They want it to be a 4-quarter, grind it out kind of football game. And the penalties, I think, in the first half, a little frustrating. And having not seen any of their early games, you wonder if that was a problem as well. But it's two pretty good football teams that I think, come November, this is a couple teams that might win a game or two.
I want to get your thoughts on a couple games. I was scrolling through Twitter for just a moment, Tony. East Butler beats Nebraska Lutheran 50-28.
Wow.
East Butler still undefeated? I know it's the first loss for Nebraska Lutheran.
No, East Butler lost the opening game to Howes Dodge.
That's right.
Yeah,
and
Nebraska Lutheran was undefeated, I believe.
They were, yes.
Okay.
So, and the other game I wanted to get your thought on is we've seen one of them, and we saw the other one last year. Centennial was leading St. Paul 14-0 at halftime.
Yeah, St. Paul has lost just a bunch of close games, and you hope they can keep their head up because, they were a team last year who won a couple close games, advances to the quarterfinals of the playoffs. We saw Centennial, man, that's a good football team in C2. I'm really interested to see C2, how that plays out. Ponca's playing really well up north, and I think they're playing Battle Creek tonight. That'll be an interesting one to see how that one shakes out. Central City's kind of one that's a little sleeper there. They got to 4-2 last night. Big win over Twin River, and they will. I think them and Sutton is coming up here pretty soon. Centennial's got Sutton the last game of the year, so that C2 bracket. There's a lot of important games for seeding here in the last few weeks.
A lot of big playoff point games. Speaking of playoff points, it should probably bear mentioning that they're 5-0 is Fullerton. They're number 2 in points.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the teams that they'd beaten, and Central Valley's 2-3, and Winside's 2-2. That was a forfeit win. Shelton 2-2. Wausau is 3-1. Scribner Schneider 0-5. So I was, and I guess somewhere in my mind I was thinking, well, maybe the playoff points aren't that good. And then I look at D2, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute, they're number 2, and they're averaging 45.
Right, and I talking to Ryan Houghton before the game, and he said the Winside game was interesting. Winside, he said, has 11 guys out. And he said they're trying to stay healthy. So they played that game as a JV game, forfeited the game. But Ryan thinks Winside could win 2 more games or 3 more games and maybe even get in the playoffs with 11 guys.
Wow.
So that'll be interesting. So we'll see how this goes here. Yeah, big possession here to start the third quarter.
Yeah, see if Winside forfeits some games and still makes the playoffs. That would be something kind of crazy, I think. That would be pretty unique. Tony will check in here coming up later on in this half. Thanks, man.
Yep.
So it is Fullerton getting the ball first in the second half. Caden Tice with the kickoff high and end over end and flying it into the end zone for the touchback. And so it will be 1st and 10 for the Fullerton Warriors. As expected, Hunter Friend is back in the backfield. Missed the first half with some disciplinary issues. The leading rusher on the season for Fullerton. But again, like I said, it doesn't matter who's in the backfield if the guys up front can't give them a seam. And that defensive front for Osceola has just been really, really solid. Friend goes for 2 yards there, 2nd and 8.
Play brings up 2nd and 8 for the Warriors.
Again, I want to give a shout out to Connor on Wirecast, Kyle on camera tonight. Fellas have done a fantastic job getting things set up and rolling for us. That pass is knocked away. Great defense by Brody Yen on the far side out there, knocking that one away from what was an open receiver. Leishak was the intended receiver, was open for a moment, but Yen closed quickly and knocked it away. So it's now 3rd and 8. And like Tony said, just a huge possession here for Fullerton. You go 3 and out and give it right back to Osceola. And it really does feel like if the Bulldogs would come down and score, this game might effectively be over the way Osceola is playing defense. So this is a big 3rd and 8 right away here to start the second half. Rasmussen will drop back. Fakes left, throws it back to the right, trying to get a running back screen set up. And still on the feed coming down the near side. That's a nice run there for Hunter Friend. So, boy, that faked. We're going to fake a fake. We're going to think about faking. I need to sit down, but Hunter Friend ends up with a first down. If you've seen The Waterboy, that makes more sense. First time we see Coach, right? He fakes. He's going to hatch the ball under his hind end. No, 11 minutes to go here in the 3rd. And we're going to fake an inside handoff. Number a late pitch. Hunter Friend, holy cow. Down the sideline comes Hunter Friend. He steps out of bounds. Well, maybe it does matter who's back there playing running back. We didn't see that play in the first half. They fake an inside trap to Connor Sonderup and then came with the option down the near side. And it was a late pitch there by Rasmussen. Well, this is a different Fullerton offense. I can tell you this, just looking at the play calls right now for the Warriors to start this second half. Friend deep in the backfield. Witovic, the fullback, the wing on the left. It's a toss sweep. And a couple of yards. Football might have come out at the end of that play, but officials marking 2nd down, so a short gain for Hunter Friend there. Friend coming into tonight, 414 yards, remember, in 4 games played. So averaging basically right at 100 yards. Dubas had 227 coming into tonight, but like Tony said, just 18 yards on the ground in the first half for Fullerton. This is far and away their best drive of the game. From the 36, counter play. Friend got some blockers in front, but can't get around that first guy. Coming inside out, that was well done by 47. That's Tanner Kropatch. And it's just a 3-yard gain when that, boy, with the blockers that were in front of Friend that time, it kind of seemed like that one, I don't know if it was going to pop wide open, but it sure seemed like it could have gone somewhere, and instead it's just a couple of yards. So from the 25, it is 3rd and 8. Need to get all the way down squarely to the 18-yard line. 9.5 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. As a chill has befallen the air here in Osceola. Rasmussen fires it deep. There's Witovic. Touchdown. Penalty flag is down in the backfield. And it's a hold against the Warriors. So Brent Witovic got behind the defense. That's like a 6'5" speedster out there playing 8-man football. That should be illegal is what it should be. But it's negated by a hold in the backfield. Call it on 99. That's C.J. Pickerel. So take off the touchdown off the board, and it's going to be 3rd and 18 as they'll move it back to the 35-yard line. 9:23 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Duba still pretty limping out there. He is split to the bottom of the screen. That is Witovic, Brent Witovic, up at the top. Swing it to the middle and incomplete. Quickly there in the backfield was Kropatch again, and it's 4th and 17. So mark that one down, that the touchdown comes off the board for Fullerton and negated by the hold. Rasmussen, remember last time, he kind of ran around back there, didn't know if he was going to kick it or fake it or run it or pass it, and this time he'll kick it, but it's going to be off the side of his foot. And it's not a very good kick. It's only about a 14-yard kick as it gets down to the 23.
The Bulldogs will have it first and 10 from their own 22-yard line.
Maybe the 22, let's call it that. So from their own 22, their first possession starts at the 8:58 mark here of the third quarter for Osceola. 291 yards of offense in that first half on 33 snaps compared to just 18 snaps for Fullerton. So Osceola dominated the time of possession and the number of snaps. Caden Tice deep in the backfield. Caden off the right side, trips over the pile, or the pile gets made and he just kind of dives over it at the 25. Pickup of about 3. Pickrell, the sophomore, 205 pounds, but boy, he's built like a football player, isn't he? Big face mask. It'd be a good guy to pick up the slack when Cole Prososki finally graduates in May. Prososki playing that nose guard position. Unbalanced line to the right. That is Bodine split out to the right. Tice, little counter block, little trap block inside. The ball is out. The ball is still free. Osceola is fortunate to jump on top of that thing. Boy, it was out a couple of different times as Tice coughed it up there for just a moment, but it will be third down and about 6 to go. I'll tell you what, this second half has a different feel. It's early. The score hasn't changed, but we saw some different plays from Fullerton, and we saw the touchdown get taken off the board with the penalties. Osceola right now, they're not moving that pile quite like they did in that second quarter. So maybe Fullerton kind of found their footing just a little bit. This is interesting here. So 3rd and 6 for the Bulldogs. Tice to his right. This is a run. Got some blockers in front. He's got a first down, does Caden Tice, as he's out across the 35-yard line. Got hit about a yard downfield by Connor Sonderup, but he ran out of that tackle, and Tice has got the first down out to the 36. Elijah Norman makes the tackle for Fullerton. So for just a minute there, boy, that felt like a real interesting kind of start to this third quarter, didn't it? 1st and 10 now for the Bulldogs from their own 36. Short snap. And near side, here comes the big fella, Brennan Bryan, down the near sideline. 20, 15, tackled at the 10. They have done really well, Fullerton has tonight, stopping that short snap to the up guy, right? And that's the first time that the up guy has popped back to the weak side. And, boy, everybody filtered inside, and it was a foot race for Brennan Bryan down the near sideline. Now it is 1st and goal from just a football length inside the 10-yard line. Caden Tice deep in the backfield. Fisher is the wing on the near side. They run behind Garrett. Tice puts his head down. Penalty flag's coming in again. We're going to have a bad feeling we're going to roll this one backwards again. Yep, holding against the Bulldogs. That's going to be their second touchdown that's been taken off the board. And remember, Fullerton's had a touchdown taken off the board. .35, I think, is who they called that on. Snipes? I thought he was on defense. Maybe 29. Yen. So 1st and goal, but now back at the 20-yard line. There is a decided chill in the air. It actually feels like the end of September, and I am underdressed. Good news is the gnats have stopped bothering me. I like that. Tice deep in the backfield. Bryan the up back, and they will hand it off to Garrett Fisher, who's got a little seam. And then the ball comes out from Fisher, and Fullerton has got the football. The Warriors recover at the 12-yard line. Scooped up there by number 50, Levi Foland. So both teams thwarted. They're thwarted. That's what I was trying to say. On their opening possession of the third quarter. A nice drive from Osceola results in no points. Hunter Friend dips outside, looking behind some blockers. He's across the 15 and out near the 17-yard line. In on the tackle, Brody Yen out there. Caden Tice was there as well.
Tackle was made by number 6, Caden Tice, 47, Tanner Kropatch.
Tanner Kropatch, I'll mention Tanner too.
5-yard gain on the play will bring up 2nd and 5 for the Warriors.
So 2nd and 5, Rasmussen under center. Fakes the handoff, rolling to his right. Man is open down the near side. It is incomplete, just over the outstretched fingertips of TJ Dubas. And TJ still not full speed. We saw him go down late in that second quarter, and we thought at the time, I thought anyway, that maybe it looked like he got the wind knocked out of him because nobody, when they got him over the sideline, nobody really looked after him. So it kind of seemed like, okay, he's okay, just needs to catch his breath. But we saw him play a few snaps there at the end of that first half, and TJ's clearly not 100% out there. So this is going to be 3rd and 5 from the 17-yard line. 6 minutes and 4 seconds officially on our game clock. Good job, Connor. Whistle, and we're going to get a timeout for Fullerton here with the 6:04 remaining. So 22-6, and this is a big 3rd down attempt upcoming here for the Fullerton offense, trying to keep it away from Osceola. We can take a timeout and come back after this on Striv TV.
It's thanks to you that we're where we are today. We're proud to watch these communities grow because they're our communities too. Our neighbors, our friends. It's where we live. These are all our hometowns. And no matter what, the people who will continue to serve your needs with the hometown support you know and trust are just down the street. Cornerstone Bank. Growing together.
There you see 6:04 remaining in the third quarter, 22-6. Osceola on top. And a 3rd down and a good 5, almost 6 yards to go, really, for Fullerton. Hunter Friend is in the backfield. John Witovic, the fullback, is offset to the right of the formation. And they will hand it off on the counter block, and Hunter Friend gets piled up. And he gets dropped for no gain. Why? Because they tried to run at Garrett Fisher. Let me tell you something about Garrett Fisher. Garrett Fisher ain't having it tonight. He ain't having it. My goodness, this fella is having himself a ball game. 3 touchdowns, all over 50 yards, and he has been a monster on defense. You just do not run at 44 this evening. They actually lost a yard there, and it's 4th and 6 with 5.5 minutes to go. And that's going to be a penalty flag, and it's not going to be 4th and 6. It's going to be 4th and 11 after a procedure against Fullerton. A snap infraction. Connor Sonderup does the deep snapping. As a former deep snapper myself, there's just no excuse for that. I speak from experience, unless it slips out of your hands. Now, I do see that Connor's doing the two-handed thing. God love him. My arms were too short. I couldn't do two-hand. I had to do it one-handed. Basically tried to throw a spiral overhand. Caden Tice will have a chance to field it, and he muffs it for a moment, but he does cover it up at the 31. So Osceola will take over. 1st and 10 right there. Oh, boy, and another penalty. This game that's one thing that has definitely slowed this game down. By the way, if you took the over on my 8:40 as the time game and over, yeah, you got that fine. So we've got offsetting unsportsmanlikes, and we're going to have the play stand where it is. So at the 31-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10 for Osceola.
Bulldogs will have it 1st and 10 from their own 31-yard line.
Head official checking something with the penalties. He's got to keep track of some of that stuff in his little pocket. So it's 1st and 10 from the 31. This is Tice coming to the near side. He's got a wall of blockers. He's got 7 or 8 yards there. As he goes forward, Layshock in on the tackle, along with 22. That is Elijah Norman. 2nd and 2 on the way for the Bulldogs. So again, that first half so dominated stat-wise and from a physicality standpoint. We've been at a little bit of a stalemate, though, in the second half after Osceola played so well in that first half. Tice on the near side. He slips off of 1 tackle and 2. Now he's into the open field. Gets drugged down from behind at the 21-yard line, but a nice pickup that time by Caden Tice. And Caden is slow to get up, holding on to that left leg. And they are out quickly to take a look at Caden Tice. Yep, he is cramping up that left leg. We need some pickle juice on the Osceola sideline in a hurry, please. Mustard. I've heard of a lot of things for cramps, not mustard. Bananas. Pickle juice, because it's a liquid, you can put it right underneath your tongue and gets in your system a little quicker. I've not heard of mustard, though. Who takes mustard for a cramp? Connor does, apparently. Yeah, stretching out that left leg. Looking at the calf, and you got to get liquids just as best you can. I would think that is another thing that if you play for Coach TJ Nielsen and you have the idea that you might be that feature back, as we see Caden get up now, if you have the idea that you might be that feature back in Coach Nielsen's offense, boy, you had better be in really, really good shape, because you are the bell cow, more than likely. You are the guy that they're calling on more often than not. So how does this change the offensive set? It looks like Carter Bodine is calling the signal anyway, and it looks like it will be Carter that will be deep in the formation. Garrett Fisher, the wing, to his left. Brennan Bryan, the up back, to his right. And they're going to just do the quick snap to Bryan, and he slips through a little gap in the line and kind of stumbles forward down to about the 19-yard line. Hunter Friend makes the tackle from a safety spot. And Caden Tice going to come back in. You know, the other thing about a cramp, it's tough to get rid of in one play. You know, you can stretch it out, you can get some liquids, but boy, that first time that you put that power back to that muscle again, oh boy, it can lock up real quick again. So we'll see what happens here on 2nd and 5. This will be Caden Tice off the left side, and he chugs his way down to the 10. Big block on the near side from Tristan Johnston, pushing Hunter Friend all the way back to the 5. Elijah Norman makes the tackle for Fullerton, but it is going to be first. Let's see if it's 1st and 10 or 1st and goal. I think it's just shy of the 10-yard line, so it's 1st and 10 from just outside the 10. So theoretically, you can get a first down without the touchdown if you're Osceola. But if you're that close, you're probably in the end zone anyway. Tice in the backfield. Fisher takes the step forward. Bryan on the short snap. Down to the 5 he goes. Drug 3 Warriors with him on the play. Layshock and Friend in on the tackle. It is down to the 5-yard line. It's 2nd and 5. Suddenly that short snap has begun to get some yards. We saw Brendan Bryan on the last drive. He popped a big 25-yarder, and that time he just kind of muscles his way for 5. But, boy, early in the game it had been run into a pile as soon as he took that snap. So things working a little better for Osceola all the time. This is Tice with the offset to his left. That's the way he is looking. Takes a little hop, leans forward. He's inside the 5, but only to the 3.
Tackle made by number 10, James Layshock, and number 13.
Layshock in on the tackle. There's Tice. You can see that right leg. It's all sorts of knotted up again. He's kind of limping back to the huddle. He's trying to stretch it out as best he can. This is 3rd, and it's not goal. It's 3rd and about 3. You can get a first down, but you're only about a football length away from the goal line if you do it. Tice keeping it to the right all the way. Gets behind the wall of blockers. A penalty flag comes down again, and everybody in the crowd groaning now. They motion touchdown, but we're about to have the 4th touchdown of the ballgame taken off the scoreboard. This will be the 3rd time that Osceola has had a score taken off the board, and 1 time for Fullerton. So we could have a drastically different score right now if all of these had counted. .47 is who they call out, Crowpatch, on the hold. So it's still going to be 3rd down. And again, you can get that first down without the touchdown. It's going to be real, real close, though. And move it back to about the 12-yard line. 3rd down and 11 from the 12.5. 2 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. We have no score yet in the 2nd half. Caden Tice is deep in the backfield. Offset to his right. Play action, steps back, lobs it left side. There's Garrett Fisher at the 1, lunges forward. Touchdown, Garrett Fisher. 11 yards for Garrett Fisher, his 4th touchdown of the night. If you need 6, give it to 44. That's all I'm saying. The big fella is eating well tonight. I hope he gets steak, eggs, potatoes, whatever he wants, man. Buy him a Shirley Temple. Maybe he's a Roy Rogers kind of guy. I don't know. Whatever. 2-point attempt. There goes Fisher in motion. Kind of hesitates, and Bryan on the up snap takes it in and walks into the end zone. With the conversion, it is 30-6. Osceola on top of the 10th-ranked team in Class D2, Fullerton. That's a fun one tonight. Let's come back to Osceola right after this on Striv TV.
Nova Fitness Equipment of Omaha has provided the very best weight room, track and field, and sports surfacing products for over 30 years in Nebraska. They provide Cybex, Matrix Fitness, Vertimax, Tough Stuff, Pro Elite, Stairmaster, York Barbell, Troy Barbell, and UCS track and performance products. From rubber flooring, strength equipment, cardio products, and sports performance accessories, Nova Fitness Equipment has what you need to make your athletic program successful. Contact Nova Fitness Equipment today at their home office in Omaha or online at novafitnessequipment.com.
Minute 50 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Osceola has opened up the lead 30-6. And Tony, you mentioned that it was important for Fullerton, who had the ball first in this half, to try to get a score. It almost feels impossible right now if you're Fullerton. But I had an inkling in those first couple possessions that with Hunter Friend, maybe the play calling was just a little different for the Warriors, yes?
Yeah, certainly it was. They're kind of a different team when they can have Dubas and him in the backfield at the same time, so they've got a little bit more in their repertoire. But Osceola stopped it. They got into Osceola territory in the first possession. They scored a punt there, and a nice return.
23-yard return from the 2 to the 25. If you're writing that down in your stats there for Sonderup. And then the answer again, what a big run. And if you need 6 points, you better toss it to Garrett Fisher. He's got all four scores tonight for Osceola.
He's got them all. Big Fish is going to have a few mentions on his Twitter when he gets back to the locker room. We found him on there. He's had a heck of a game. both sides of the ball, really. He's doing a heck of a job here. He's always that near side defensive end to you.
Yep, yeah, and you just, I've mentioned that. You just don't run at 44 tonight because he's stopping it up. He stopped the counter play by himself. It's been fun to watch. 1st and 10 for Fullerton here. Rasmussen from the shotgun. Quick pass. That one finally caught. It's been open all night, but finally it gets caught and then planted. On the catch was Isaac Gleason, a sophomore. And like we said, that the slant has been open because that linebacker's a step late. But then Caden Tice came up from a safety spot and put a good lick on him there, too. That's Brent Witovic split to the far side of the formation. Friend in motion. Rasmussen straight drop, just fires it deep. Incomplete. There was contact. There is no penalty flag.
Rasmussen pass falls incomplete with intended for number 13, Isaac Gleason.
Gleason was the intended receiver. Bodine was on the coverage. And it's 3rd and 5 for Fullerton with 56 seconds left in the third quarter. Timeout for Fullerton, and we'll step aside as well on Striv.tv. Come back to Osceola after this.
Trucking industry gives you a lot of opportunity for careers because there's such a wide, vast list of possibilities and areas that you can go into. As technicians, these trucks are as advanced as cars are today, so we need technicians that can work on them and understand how to work the computer system and get them up and running so the customer can make money. These trucks are workhorses, but they're built for comfort and they're easy to drive. Freightliner builds these trucks for drivers' wants and customers' needs.
Chris Webber got an interception at the end of the first half for Nebraska, and they are just beginning their second half of play. We are 56 seconds left in the third quarter. Fullerton in desperate need of some points on the board, sending Connor Sonderup in motion. Rasmussen a straight drop, throws it over the left side. It is caught. That is a first down, and Sonderup on the catch, and he's got it across midfield to about the 39-yard line of Osceola. So Sonderup finds some space. And, you know, the way Osceola plays defense, it kind of seems like, especially if you've hit one or two down the field, Osceola's going to back off a little bit. So it might be pertinent for Fullerton to try some of those quick out passes and the quick slants and what have you. 43 seconds and rolling now here in the third quarter. Sonderup again in motion. Wants the quick out, makes the catch. No, he didn't. Through the hands of Sonderup that time. Got a little nudge out of bounds by Crowpatch as well. 2nd and 10 with the clock stopped at 34.3 seconds. By the way, this lovely scoreboard that you see tonight, the stack scoreboard on Striv TV, courtesy of Osceola graduate Christian Schlief. Christian has done some interning for the last couple summers with us at Striv TV, and he has designed and developed that scoreboard, and we think it looks awesome. They want a throwback to Hunter Friend, and it almost ends up in the hands of the receiver on the far side. That's Brent Witovic. Instead, it falls incomplete, and it's 3rd and 10 with 29 seconds left.
That brings up the 3rd down and 10 for the Warriors.
3rd and 10. Rasmussen under center. Hunter Friend in the backfield. Fake it to Hunter. Pressure right away. The pass is incomplete, knocked away. Gleason had it in his hands, and then Carter Bodine stuck him in the back and said, no, drop that ball. Get rid of that. You put that down right now. Oh, no, that's what I say to my 10-month-old daughter. Put that down. Don't put that in your mouth. Don't hit your brother. 4th and 10 for Fullerton with 23 seconds left here in the third. You know, you're across midfield and you're down 24. Yeah, at what point do you go for it? I think Coach Ryan Houghton says the point that we go for it is right now. Gleason with a lot of room down here to the near side. Well, that looked funny because the snap happened and only about half of the offense moved. But I tell you, the snap is what makes the play live, and if nobody moved before that snap, it really shouldn't be a penalty. I didn't think anybody actually moved. I just think half the team thought it was on 2, and half the team thought it was on 1, and the snap came on 1. So instead, 4th and 10 becomes 4th and 15. Rasmussen still under center, sends Hunter Friend in motion. Here comes a blitz off the edge. Rasmussen lobbing it deep for Witovic out there. It is intercepted. Goes down as an INT. And cramping up on the far side. It's not Tice. Brody Yen. So Yen makes the INT, and he's just cramping up across the far way. I got my binoculars out, and right away he was holding on to that left leg. But Yen makes the INT. Now, here's the thing. If you're Fullerton, yes, it goes down as a turnover. Essentially, it's just kind of a punt. It was 4th and 15. It was going to be a long shot anyway. I hate to say this, but Yen probably would have been better off for his team if he dropped that, and Fullerton would have had it or Osceola would have had it in Fullerton territory. Instead, hey, Yen gets the interception. He gets a cramp to boot as well. And the ball will be at their own 16-yard line. Now Brody up, and he gets a hero's applause for the INT. Gives his team the ball with 15 seconds left in the third quarter.
After the end interception for the Bulldogs will have it 1st and 10 from their own 16-yard line.
Pickle juice and mustard, Connor says. On the sideline, please, for Osceola. Bananas, Gatorade, Pedialyte. I've heard Pedialyte, might be given to your baby if they're a little, or a youngster, not necessarily baby. But in any effect, here I go, talking like I'm a doctor. But I did stay at Holiday Inn. No, I didn't. I stayed in my house last night. Caden Tice over the left guard. Thank you for playing football again, fellas. My commentary has become wary. He's out across the 20 to the 22, maybe 23-yard line. Layshock in on the tackle. Hunter Friend was also in there. And that is the end of the third quarter. 30-6 our score. Osceola leading the 10th-ranked team in Class D2 with 12 minutes to play. Will they hang on? We will find out after this timeout on Striv TV.
Trucking industry gives you a lot of opportunity for careers because there's such a wide, vast list of possibilities and areas that you can go into. As technicians, these trucks are as advanced as cars are today, so we need technicians that can work on them and understand how to work the computer system and get them up and running so the customer can make money. These trucks are workhorses, but they're built for comfort and they're easy to drive. Freightliner builds these trucks for drivers' wants and customers' needs.
Doing great. Doing great, Kyle and Connor. Thanks for helping us out here. Where are we at? We're fine. There we are. Second down and about 4. And before we do anything, a penalty flag. We've had a lot of yellow hankies on the field here tonight. Procedure against the Bulldogs. 2nd and 4 becomes 2nd and 9.
Legal procedure on the Bulldogs will be 5 yards penalty. 2nd down and 8 for the Bulldogs.
Tice in the backfield. He had 20 carries at halftime. I'm sure he's over 30, probably 35-ish, maybe 36-ish now with this 2nd down carry as he goes over the left side and just does cross the 20. Prosaski a little slow to get up at the end of that play. See him hobbling out there. A lot of guys played a lot of snaps in this game, and, you know, this is probably the first time really all year, unless you played in the rain here a couple weeks ago, that you've played on ice. I'll say somewhat chilly night. We've probably dipped into the 60s now. About 75 when we arrived here tonight, but that when the sun went down, and you know, there's no breeze really to speak of. Here's 3rd and 6. Tice rolling the whole way. Now he's going to duck it and run. Big collision as Hunter Friend comes up. And Tice is real close, though. I think he might have the first down. He does. Boy, he kind of strung that thing out. I thought, well, he might have gained a yard or two. No, we look across the way. Official standing here. That's a 7-yard gain for Caden Tice. Hunter Friend came up and made the hit at the end, but not before Caden had rambled his way for a first down. An update in Champaign. Huskers lead 21-6 with 7:49 to play in the 3rd quarter. Ben Stilley of Ashland Greenwood making some sort of play to get a good tweet from the Husker football Twitter account. That is Garrett Fisher. Get this man a steak. Who's kind of nimble that time. Like, I don't want to open it up and run somebody over. So I kind of tiptoe through the tulips across the 35-yard line. He picks up 6, almost, let's call it 7 yards there. 10:45 and counting here in the 4th quarter. Next week, Cedar Bluff's a home game for Fullerton, as it will be a home game again next week for Osceola to take on Humphrey St. Francis, one of the top teams in the class. But you've handled the number 1 team in the district so far, points-wise anyway, so far here tonight. So that game next Friday night right here, I expect good things out of Connor and Kyle. I won't be here. I expect good things on this stream next week. You understand, right? You guys are doing good. I like it. Tice with another first down carry. Short snap for Bryan. Just barrels over the right side, and the big fella, Prosaski, makes the tackle just across the midfield stripe. Now we've got multiple guys down. Bryan does get up, but not getting up just yet is Levi Foland of Fullerton. Oh, he's hiding behind the official right now, but they're not really looking at a cramp. They're taking a look at the left ankle of Levi, and that's where we will stop our commentary. So as they take a look at Levi Fullerton on the field there for Fullerton, we will step aside for just a moment as well.
Participating in Nebraska high school activities has taught me about teamwork.
I've learned how to lead among my peers.
At my high school, I have set goals and I work hard to accomplish them.
I like to run on my cross country team. It makes me feel good about myself.
The Nebraska School Activities Association providing opportunities in 25 activities in our 303 high schools. NSAA activities, the other half of education.
So the good news is Levi Fullerton is walking off the field with a little assistance, but certainly not carrying anything. Keeping that left leg a little ginger. Again, they were taking a look at the left ankle. Coach Houghton and the staff for Fullerton. So the gain by Brennan Bryan is 2, and it's 2nd and 8 from the 38 of Fullerton. 9:37 to play in the fourth quarter. Dominated from a physicality standpoint tonight by the Osceola Bulldogs. Despite the Bulldogs having 3 touchdowns taken off the board, although they did get one of those back, and 1 touchdown taken off the board that could have made it 22-14 for Fullerton. Now back in the huddle. Now they'll hustle to the line of scrimmage. Tice deep in the backfield as that 5-second count is on. Caden sends Fisher in motion. This is Tice to the left side the whole way. Cannot slip out of that last tackle. Hunter Friend pulls him down.
Tackle was made by number 19, Hunter Friend.
Yeah, all right. 3rd down and about 3 to go.
3rd down and a long 2 for the Bulldogs.
Long 2, 3, whatever. 6 of one, half dozen the other. It's 3rd down. It's Caden Tice. It's right up the middle. Puts his head down, and there goes the pile. 1st down, Osceola. Flips over everybody at the end of it, too.
Tackle was made by number 21, Brent Witovic.
Brent Witovic playing defense there, and Brent actually came up out of a pile with the football. Had been blown dead by the time he had gotten the football, however. So if you're Osceola, this drive started with 15 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, so you're right at 4 minutes right now, and you've gone from your own 16 to the Fullerton 27-yard line. So you're just on a perfect schedule right now. If you're Fullerton, if you're Osceola. Caden Tice, he's gonna let everybody calm down, and then as the 5-second count comes, now he's already starting to bleed the clock. Carries it over the right side, runs into a wall of white, picks up a few, but not too many. These teams have really slugged it out. You know, we mentioned in the opening of our game tonight. This is 2 teams in Fullerton and in Osceola that they really want to run at you. They don't necessarily want to try to run around you or necessarily try to trick you. They would prefer, both these coaches, Ryan Houghton for Fullerton and TJ Nielsen for Osceola, they would be just fine if that field was about half as wide as it currently is, and you didn't have a choice but to run right at somebody. They would be overjoyed with that. But it's been Osceola that has dominated on both lines here tonight. Short snap to Brennan Bryan. He picks it up. Doesn't get much. In fact, the ball came out. The head official pointed down right away. But I tell you, that pile has moved back. Been real impressed with C.J. Pickrell, one of a number of sophomores on this Fullerton team. You know, you look at Sonderup's a sophomore. Rasmussen's a sophomore. T.J. Jubas is just a junior. Leshock is a junior. Elijah Norman is a junior. John Witovic is a sophomore. Foland is a junior. And Pickrell's a sophomore. So it's a lot of underclassmen in the lineup and playing a lot of the plays for Coach Houghton. Gleason is a sophomore. He's out there at an outside linebacker right now. This is third down at about 6.5. Tice will take it over the left side. Got a great block down, and he has got the first down as he's inside the 15. If you want a play made by the guys wearing black and orange and gray, 44 is making it. Garrett Fisher absolutely mowed down the left side, actually the right side of the defense of Fullerton that time, and just completely opened that play up. He's so good. I mean, we don't usually do MVP of the game. We don't have a sponsored player of the game, but I'm giving gold star effort to the kid wearing 44 tonight in black and orange. Garrett Fisher, game ball. This feels like Sherman's march to the sea right now. Brennan Bryant on the power sweep. Chopped down shy of the 10 at the 12, so he really only picked up about 2 there. Hunter Friend in on that stop. 5.5 minutes to go, and this drive, remember, started at the end of the third quarter with 15 seconds left. We play 12-minute quarters, folks. Right now, it is a 7-minute drive for the Bulldogs. They have bled the clock beautifully. Caden Tice has several times on this drive waited for that back official to start counting down the final 5 seconds. Coach Nielsen got close enough that time. We're going to take a timeout. As it stands right now, 7 minutes and 15 seconds on this drive for Osceola. Looking to punch one in and put an exclamation mark on this game, leading Fullerton 30-6. Here during the timeout, give me just a moment. I'm going to dial up Tony Chapman and get his thoughts on this drive. Hold on just a second. All right, Tony is down on the sideline. Tony, this feels just a little bit like Sherman's march to the sea, does it not? 7 minutes, as it stands right now, 7 minutes and 15 seconds off the clock.
Well, I mean, this is if you want to win football games, this is how you do it. You know what I mean? So the other team can't get the ball. I've got 53 rushing attempts. I'm guessing number 54 is coming up right at you. 351 yards, Eric. That's going to win you a lot of football games.
It has been impressive.
September, October, November, you pick is going to win you a lot.
Tice deep in the backfield again. And they finally get a little bit tricky with the end around, and it's going to pop for the touchdown. On the carry that time is Brody Yen. 12 yards on the score. Call it 7 minutes and 15 plus 7 is 22. 7 minutes and 22 seconds on the drive. And Yen scores from 12 out on the, I guess we can call that a reverse. It went to the left first and it came back to the right. Oh, a thing of beauty. Actually, it went right, then it went left. It might have been a double reverse. Started right, went left, ended up right. Whatever it was, ended up in 6 points. And now Tice wants a pop pass to Garrett Fisher because, of course, Garrett Fisher is going to get the 2 point. 38-6, Osceola rolling. Fullerton here tonight. We will take a timeout and we'll come back to Bulldogville after this.
It's thanks to you that we're where we are today. We're proud to watch these communities grow because they're our communities too. Our neighbors, our friends. It's where we live. These are all our hometowns. And no matter what, the people who will continue to serve your needs with the hometown support you know and trust are just down the street. Cornerstone Bank. Growing together.
Well, if Garrett's mom, she should be excited because her son's having a heck of a game. Yen gets the touchdown, but Garrett Fisher gets the 2. So 4 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion now for Garrett Fisher. Huge factor in this 38-6 lead for Osceola. Fullerton will get it back. That is Connor Sondrup trying to get to the far sideline, and he will not get away from the first guy down there at the 10 or 11-yard line. Carson Watts, a freshman linebacker, in on the tackle. Haven't called his name a lot tonight, but boy, when we have, it's been because of a sure tackle. I don't know what you guys are feeding each other up here, but I am impressed. Steak and potatoes. Well, if we're feeding steak and potatoes, I'll be up to visit a little more often, I'll tell you that. 1st and 10 here for Fullerton from their own 11. Pressure on Rasmussen. Can he get away? Well, he just throws it away, but nobody was there. That's going to be intentional grounding. Boy, that was 3 Bulldogs in direct chase of Brandon Rasmussen. Fisher and Snipes and Bryan were all giving chase. So this is going to be intentional grounding on Rasmussen to the spot and a loss of down. Actually, it's 5 yards. It's half the distance from the goal from the spot is what it is. Normally, it's a from the spot and a 5-yard penalty. Had that occurred in the end zone where he threw it, it would have been a safety. We should maybe mention that. But this is 2nd and long, and Rasmussen is going to drop straight back. Fire it to the near side. That is Brent Witovic making the catch, and another sure tackle by a Bulldog defender out at the 15-yard line.
Tackle was made by number 6, Caden Tice.
Tice makes the stop. And, you know, you watch Rasmussen in warm-ups, that's the kind of throw it seems like Brandon could probably make all night. And if Coach Houghton wanted him to, and again, I don't think Coach really wants him to, he probably could drop back there and throw it 25 times in a game. He's kind of had to out of necessity tonight because Osceola's been so good at stopping the run. Rasmussen winds up, fires it deep. That's Brenton Witovic out there, and it's knocked away at the last second. Great defense on the far side by Brody Yen. So Yen got the touchdown on the last possession for Osceola's offense, and he gets the pass breakup on 3rd and 6 right there. So now it's 4th and 6.
One more time, D. Let's go.
Just under 4 minutes to go in this ball game.
Take it to him. Get in there, D.
Timeout taken here by Fullerton.
Warriors will call their final timeout of the second half. Update from Champaign, the Huskers lead 20.
Stan, touchdown. Stanley Morgan Jr., I believe. Well, that would make it, I believe, 28-6 for the Huskers then. Boone Central tonight wins over Ord 43-15. A final in York as the Dukes defeat Sydney 42-7. So this is 4th and 6 as I get off Twitter for just a moment. Looks like 4th and go for it from your own 15. Quick hitch. That is caught by Gleason. Evades one tackler, and he's out across the 25 near the 28-yard line. So it is that short passing, which, again, seemingly has been there a little bit tonight. And that works for Fullerton, but it's too little too late. You know, it's going to be the third win of the season for Osceola. Their best win over their best opponent anyway. Losses to BDS and Nebraska Lutheran. Nebraska Lutheran just suffered their first loss of the season tonight. BDS, I believe, still undefeated. As Gleason makes the catch, Tice makes the tackle, but that's another 12 yards and a first down.
Tackle made by number 6, Kate Tice. 12 yards on that play gives the Warriors a first down. The ball is at midfield.
And credit Brendan Rasmussen. He's had to do a lot of his passing under heavy duress tonight. There has not been too many times when it's been a calm and relaxed pocket that he's gotten to throw from. Wants a quick one this time, lobs it deep, and he overshoots Witovic that time. Nobody was getting to that one. And that's a product of, Rasmussen, that's probably supposed to be a quick pass. That's kind of the design of the play. But when he, as soon as he turned around to try to spot Witovic, he saw two defenders behind him. So it's like, well, I'll just lob it up and maybe Brent can go jump up and catch something. Now he just threw it beyond everybody, and nobody could go get it. Ball right at the midfield stripe. 3:13 to go here in the fourth quarter. It's going to be Fullerton's first loss of the season. 5-1. They will be at home next week to take on Cedar Bluffs. Quick pass out to the near side. Two receivers, Sonderup and Gleason, were both there. Nobody really had a good chance at catching it, though. And it's 3rd and 10. Again, I want to say thanks to Connor and to Kyle while we're still here. Connor on Wirecast, Kyle running the camera. You know, we're setting this up this week. We didn't quite know if we were going to have any help. So, fellas, it has been you have done a fantastic job. Thank you. I really appreciate this tonight. Rasmussen wants a running back screen to Sonderup, and boy, Connor had blockers in front. Unfortunately, he forgot the football. 4th and 10. Rasmussen in the shotgun with split backs on either side. Quick pass. Gleason's got it. Gleason's got a first down, and he's tackled inside the 25 down to the 24 where Tice pulls him down there. But, again, that slant, I tell you what, Rasmussen, he's got a good arm. He's got a good release. It's just a matter of time, really. Does he have time to throw the passes that he wants to complete? And if you're Osceola, you're fine with this drag the clock out type of game or type of – Fullerton has had, this is Fullerton's first possession of the fourth quarter. Put that in perspective. There's 2:45 left in the quarter. This is the only drive they have had it. Rasmussen will line it up deep. Witovic out there, broken up by Yen again. Brent had it for just a split second, and Yen got it knocked free to bring up 2nd and 10.
Kyle! Quick, get in there fast.
So 2nd and 10. Rasmussen on the drop. Fires it over the middle, too high that time. He tried to get it to Brady Houghton, incomplete, and it's 3rd and 10.
Incomplete, intended for number 1, Brady Houghton. No gain on that play, brings up the 3rd down, 10 for the Warriors.
Don't forget to check out StrivSports.com tomorrow. We'll have the rewind featuring this game here tonight and others across the state. A final in C2, Centennial wins it 21-12 over St. Paul. Out into the right flat, that's Sondra. It makes one man miss, gets a block down the sideline. He's got a first down.
Screen pass is complete to number 22, Connor Sondra. Gain for the Warriors gives them a first down.
1st and 10 from the 13, we will call it. 2:25 to go in this ball game. Osceola, they will be at home next week against Humphrey St. Francis. This was the number 1 team by playoff points in Fullerton coming into tonight. Humphrey St. Francis, number 2 in the district. Rasmussen going to keep it the whole way, looking for a block. Steps out of bounds inside the 5. Carter Bodine nudges him out. And we mentioned Fullerton is at home against Cedar Bluffs before they will end their season on the road to St. Francis. In this district, Fullerton, St. Francis, and Osceola. So Osceola is about to go to 1-1 in the district, and Fullerton will also be 1-1, and will actually still be quite a ways ahead of Osceola in playoff points. This is Hunter Friend over the right side. He's got a touchdown from 3 yards out.
Number 19, Hunter Friend is the ball carrier. On a 3-yard touchdown run for the Warriors.
So Hunter Friend didn't play in the first half due to some disciplinary issues, as we heard from Coach Houghton in the opening of this game. But he's got a touchdown here with a 2:16 left in the fourth quarter. Conversion attempt still coming. Rasmussen rolling out to his right, looking for a pass into the flat. Overthrows John Witovic. 38-12 our score. Osceola on top of Fullerton. 2:16 left in this fourth quarter. A timeout, and we come back to Osceola after this.
It's thanks to you that we're where we are today. We're proud to watch these communities grow because they're our communities too. Our neighbors, our friends. It's where we live. These are all our hometowns. And no matter what, the people who will continue to serve your needs with the hometown support you know and trust are just down the street. Cornerstone Bank. Growing together.
Got to be wary of an onside here if you are Osceola, right? Fullerton took about 2:30 off the game clock to score, but just 38-12. It would take something just ridiculously crazy at this point for Fullerton to come all the way back. And Rasmussen is going to squib it, and it's not even going to go. Yeah, it's going to be touched by Fullerton. It's a penalty, and Osceola's going to get the ball right there, actually.
Onside kick attempt. There is a penalty flag on the play.
Keep this in mind. This is the first drive for Osceola to start in the fourth quarter. Their previous drive that they had that was in this quarter started with 15 seconds left in the third and lasted 7 minutes and 22 seconds.
There is no penalty on the play. The onside kick did not go 10 yards, so the Bulldogs will take over where the ball ended. First and 10 from the Warriors' 36-yard line.
Well, so they wave off a penalty, but it was first touched before it went 10 yards by Fullerton, which is a penalty. Actually, that just means it down. In any effect, an inside handoff. I think we got some youngsters out there. Caden Tice's night is probably done. Garrett Fisher's night is probably done. And that was Bryce Reed one of the freshmen on that carry. Brent Witovic in on that tackle.
2-yard gain on that play will bring up second down and 8 for the Bulldogs.
Coach Nielsen waiting for that last 5-second count before he lets his young quarterback go. A good job there by Carter Bodine.
Tackle was made by number 2, Connor Sondrup, and number 20, James
Sondrup
Witovic.
and James Witovic in on that tackle for Fullerton. It's a good-looking Osceola team. Did a lot of good things here tonight. 38-12 looks like it's going to be our final score unless something crazy happens here. You know, this begins, this end of September as we look into the first part of October. This begins an incredibly busy next, 8 weeks for us at Striv TV, whether it's state softball, state cross country, the football playoffs, of course. We at Striv, we start to host our fall conferences next week. For all of our Striv schools are invited. We've got conferences going on all across the state over the next few weeks. And like we said, state softball will be there to help with some streaming and some coverage of our teams. Starts a very, very busy few weeks. And so I can only invite you as best I can to find us on Twitter at Striv Sports. We're on Facebook at Striv Sports. And on Instagram, we are Striv TV. We just have the one Striv TV account on Instagram. But a lot of great stuff on there from today, from tonight. Austin Penfield's been on the sidelines. He's got some good videos from down on the ground level tonight of some of these scores. And that's going to be the final play of this one. Fantastic job tonight by the Osceola Bulldogs. They are going to improve to 3-3 on the season. And while handling the Fullerton Warriors, their first loss of the season, now 5-1 for the Fullerton Warriors. 38-12, your final score here tonight in Osceola. We can't say thank you enough to Connor and Kyle running Wirecast and the camera here for us tonight. Thanks again, everybody, for joining us on Striv TV, and we will see you again soon down the road. 38-12, Osceola takes the victory.
Humphrey St. Francis, right here at the Dogtown kickoff at 7 o'clock. We hope to see you here. On behalf of the Osceola schools, we wish